All right. So, what I'm going to share with you is a practice that is near and dear to my heart. It's one that I've learned from Lama John McCransky and some of his teachers, including adaptations of it from Tsoknyi Rinpoche and Chokyampa Rinpoche. And it's what is now part of a series of meditations called Sustainable Compassion Training. So feel free to find a position that feels most comfortable for you. And typically for me, this means seated with an upright back. But my goal and my invitation to you is to find a place of comfort and alertness. Comfort and alertness. And if you have access to somehow feeling the ground beneath you, I'd invite you to start with a simple noticing that there is a ground and a sense of connection and appreciation for the land that you're on. You're welcome to allow your gaze to gently lower. Though it is always a fun practice for me to keep my eyes open and expansive as a way to invite the possibility of being in this practice off the cushion throughout my day. So allowing the body to simply embody you, and to be one of several markers of intention and attention for this practice. And if you find it helpful, you could do a quick body scan. If this is your first moment in your day, noticing that you're an embodied being, which frankly, sometimes that's the case for me. It's lovely to begin at the top of my head. And just invite a alert openness, my forehead and my brow, around my eyes and cheekbones. The releasing of any clenching of the jaw or neck. Sometimes there's a slight shift of my chin downwards. And sensing into my chest and dropping of the shoulders. And take your time moving on down your body. It's like a gentle greeting. and a beginning of an opening, of dropping of the thinking mind into the body. At some point, you might notice your breath follow along. It might be marked by a deep inhale and an exhale. As a way of allowing the breath to settle into its own natural rhythm. And if you're able to, allowing the breath to reach the depths of your abdomen so that you feel a bit of an expansion at each inhale. No right or wrong way to do it. These are all just suggestions, little markers along the way. And in this way, allowing the breath to draw you into a sort of ebb and flow. This dropping of the body and of the breath might, even just for a slight moment, invite a kind of dropping of the mind. And that's not to invite an agenda or a particular quality to what's happening for you, but to just simply invite that possibility. That even for a brief moment, the calm wisdom of the body and of the breath might actually evoke a kind of dropping of the mind, an unfurling. And so for the next little bit, you're welcome to just hang out here. You're welcome to use anchors along the way. If you notice you're needing a support, longing for a bit more ground and structure, an anchor of sort. And so that might be your body, where at some point you decide to feel the cushion underneath you. It might be your breath, where you decide to place your attention simply on the rise and fall of your chest. There really is such a profound power to simply being here in this part of the practice. Such a profound simplicity. that allows for a kind of opening and a kind of release, and continues to fine tune our attention and our noticing of when our awareness is simply lost, when our habits of the mind and of the body have just come so close to our awareness and have kind of taken us on a ride. And that simple noticing is a moment of liberation. So you really are welcome to just hang out right there. The releasing of the body and the breath, and even for a brief moment, the quote unquote mind. If, however, it speaks to you, I'd invite you to bring into this space your field of care. So over time, you may have noted long-standing caring moments, your sort of go-tos. That one particular birthday party that lives on as the moment when you felt so celebrated and adored. Or that one greeting of your beloved pet after a long day out. But really, no matter who you were and what you came in with, it was met with full body wiggles and excitement for you and your presence and your aliveness. So your field of care might be populated by long-standing caring moments or ones that newly arrived for you right now. This field of care might include what we sometimes term as benefactors. So beings who have at some point, even for a brief moment, spoken or unspoken, held a kind of gaze of care, deep love for all that you are. That essentially at that moment, within those moments, no matter who you thought you were or what you thought you deserved, no matter what the circumstances, their deep care just kind of cut through any stories in a way that spoke to your deepest nature and truth, your deepest dignity and birthright. So bring to mind your field of care. Bring it to mind not just as a memory or an abstraction, but as happening right now, fully embodied, present here with you right now. Continuing to drop below that thinking mind. And feel into being seen right now as deeply worthy of love and care beyond any judgment. And see if you can release into that felt sense. Steeping into its loving energy. Feeling its tender qualities. And letting them infuse your whole body. Every cell in your body. Every nook and cranny of your mind. Basking in this radiance. Like a sweet puppy lying on a rug, basking in the sun rays coming through a window. Just so uncomplicated, so immediate and fully embodied. Every part of your body, all the wrinkles and gray hairs, all the aches and pains, every tightness, and everything you've held to be so beautiful and strong, all loved, showered in this healing radiance. Every layer of your feeling and emotion. The yummy ones and the super difficult ones. The new ones and the reoccurring old ones. Every feeling, tone, and emotion. Every part of you loved in its very being. And as you notice any nuances or potential difficulties with this practice begin to arise or draw your attention away, just simply see if you can settle back into that field of care. It's not a doing away with what has arisen, but it's just a simple figure ground shift of allowing it to arise within the basking radiance of this other continued radiance. And in so become compassionately aware of whatever it is that's arising, or even coalescing as a part of you with all its feelings and nuances. The part that's struggling right now, the part that feels distracted, nervous, judgmental, afraid, tight, bored, tired, confused, whatever it is. Let it and all of its nuance have all the space that they need within this field of care. You might notice that with some time, lack of agenda, and stickiness on our part, all arisings tend to find their own place and settle in their own time. Like snowflakes, finding their way, eventually landing on the lake bed. When this feels helpful, you can rejuvenate or freshly recall your field of care as present with you right now. And continuing to drop below that thinking mind. How much can you allow your embodied experience to feel the loving radiance of your field of care right now? Allow that power to draw you into oneness with it. With each exhale, consenting to a bit more of a release of any agendas, any efforts. Simply allowing any arisings to arise and dissolve as they will, while being embraced in this larger radiance. And for the last minute, let's drop any doing, any meditating, any listening, following of directions. And just for a moment, allow total openness of awareness to draw you into unity with it. A space of deep allowing and letting be. And with time, allowing your attention to come back into the body. Allowing the rhythm of your breath to welcome you back into the space. And as you complete your practice, closing it with your own way of dedicating any benefit or merit that may have arisen during this time. May it ultimately be in service of liberation of all. May it ultimately enrich and sustain your presence with the world around you. And may it provide the support and the encouragement to come back again and again with gentleness, with compassion, and a whole lot of love. Thank you, dear ones.